Hey, what's going on, guys? Hex Competitive back again today with the brand new video. And as always, down title below will be the topic we're talking about today. And we actually got quite a few notes about Tower of God today. And I'm going to try not to have to look at them at all because I got to say, to start off, the opening is awesome in the show, and it really gives you a movie feel. And I just really want to say that it's off the rib. Wow. Like, that opening's so good. But yeah, the visuals for the ED may not be anything special because it's really just a shot of Rachel. And a Rachel that looks older, I should say. But that music in that ED, wow. Special stuff there. That it just sounds so good. The anime feels so different. It feels such like an anime, but yet so far like any other anime out there. The feeling, not the visuals, just the feeling of the show. It's really weird. But this episode 2 kind of, it made me feel as if it was more of an anime, but this is just some new totally different presentation. And once again, I still can't put my finger on what it is. Yes, I know it's a man wall and it has something to do with man walls, but at the same time, I can't necessarily say exactly what that is within the man wall writing that makes the show so different. But actually diving into the show here, we learn a lot this episode, right? We learn that irregulars are people who come from outside the tower and don't typically live within that level, that lower level, just outside the tower grounds and or inner tower, inner middle tower. Now we know that the middle tower and or inner tower is where regulars try to climb the tower. We know that the outside, just outside, or excuse me, the outer side of the tower and or outer space of the tower is where residentials live. And then, of course, we know that our main character, Bam, is someone who came from outside the tower, which would indicate he's a regular. And as a matter of fact, we see that the ranker, and I can't remember exactly his name. I don't know if to actually say his name, but the ranker that is there is someone who has ascended all the levels of the tower and arrived at the very top. So whenever we look at that, think about this. That guy is literally supposed to be one of God's gifts, right? There's only a handful of people that have climbed to the top. It seems as if the queen that gave, Bam the sword originally is someone who has actually climbed to the top as well, which would also explain how she's able to kind of just go from floor to floor, I think. I'm not really sure. They looked as if they were kind of stuck on a certain floor, but they most definitely can just walk and roam the tower as they please, as we could clearly see. Now, because we even have the reference to where Bam's like, they must be incredible, and it refers to the queen that gave him the sword and her right-hand man. So, looking at that scene, whenever Bam just kind of crosses over, he's like, excuse me, I'm over here. One, I laughed. But as soon as the other person said, a monster has arrived, and because he passed through it so easily, he looks so weak. He doesn't have anything about him that should demonstrate strength or power, but yet he is doing things that he has no idea how he's doing. He's a monster. He is he's a conscious but yet unconscious and or unaware of what he is. Those are the worst monsters because you never know what to expect for them. You never know what side they're going to choose. You don't know their motives. You can't read them because they're so innocent per se, and you can't get the whole kind of concept of who they are, what are their motives. So that scene was really good. It got me excited. It made me wonder what the heck is Bam exactly. Rachel seems to come outside of the tower, but yet she ascended the tower. So in order to ascend the tower, you run into the actual king. You don't run into necessarily a god and or gods. You run into people that are almost gods due to their power, their strength, and we got to see that was one of the rankers, and that's not even the king. So when we look at this, we got to remember that these are people. So this changes, what we got today changes the whole game. What's the point of the tower? What's the points of of gods at the top of the tower if there's not really gods there? There's freaking a king who is probably most likely acting as if he is a god. So that's interesting. He's powerful, obviously. He's probably like the most powerful person out there, like either first or second, depending on where, how the show finishes and where Bam comes in at. Because, of course, we know Bam's at least going to get up there. He's going to come into contact with this guy. We know that. That's just something that happens in writing. So let's just wait, see what happens with that. But it seems as if this may be more of a kind of power grab by the king. That's just kind of my early predictions. I mean, I don't know what episode 3 is gonna come out with, but I'm just saying I feel as if this is like a king acting as if he is a god, just because he is maybe just next level powerful. That's how I'd really essentially look at these things. But Other than that, though, we do need to take a peek at other things that did happen in that sequence, and which I do want to make sure I cover. The ranker also knows. Was it cool? Is it cruel? Let me look at my notes really quick. It's Coon. So, like I said, I had like 12 notes. I had to take a glance at least once. The first 5 minutes were like half my notes. So hey, but looking at him, Coon. Coon's someone who obviously comes in with ulterior motives. We know that. We know Coon's not just here for shits and giggles. We know he's here for a reason. He showcases that, the way he talks, the monologues. They give us all the undertones. They give us all the information we know to where Coon's here for himself. He doesn't care about our main character. He doesn't care about the other guy. Yeah, he's allies, and maybe he's going to treat them like allies for as long as he can, sure. But as soon as he probably has a choice to make that goes with his motive, he's probably ditching on those two. Maybe there'll be characters that bring him back to integrity, morals. Who knows? Or maybe, well, he's gonna be a character that's they should have feared, like the ranker said. So whenever a ranker says, whenever a ranker knows a regular, someone who's not supposed to be of any social status, and says watch out for him, then obviously he has some kind of strength. A ranker or someone of that strength, of course, someone who has climbed the tower, which this tower is made to be something so almost impossible to climb. Let's think about that. Someone of that caliber saying watch out for someone is pretty important. That makes you say, whoa, 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 wait, what the hell? Okay, I'll watch out for them. So looking at all that going down now, I really enjoyed how they've, used Coon. I think Coon's going to be a character that really makes things tie together. I think he's going to be someone that keeps things interesting. He's a question mark, right? And we love that. Question marks are the most important things in writing. Question marks are the most important things in any kind of storytelling. Keep people interested. I mean, unless you're doing an informative speech, which you could actually put questions in, you can even put that in persuasive speech if you do it right. All these things matter, and this show is making us ask questions. It's giving us a little bit of world building, but now we're just kind of like, okay, why is there a person? Why is there a person? Was it Kahad? They said the king was. Why is there a king at the top of the tower? I thought the tower was supposed to be some kind of special tower. The tower is even being watched over by a foreign creature. Like, why is the tower being watched if there's a king that rules the tower? Why is the king at the top of the tower? A lot of questions here that don't quite make necessarily sense. There's a lot of big questions. It doesn't make sense at all how a king is at the top of the tower when the tower has been portrayed to be some kind of tower of the gods. So what are they trying to portray the king as someone who is picked by the gods? That's one other question I want to throw out there before I wrap up my whole king talk. I mean, they keep mentioning gods. They try to get through that Shinsu wall, and they're cursing the gods. So this has always been about the gods in the show, Tower of God. So maybe Kahad's a god per se. I don't know. I doubt it. Sounds like he's not very nice, judging by how the two other characters that we met in episode 1 were kind of discussing him. So other than that, though, looking down my notes one last time, I think we really kind of hit everything outside of how Bam actually was taught to read, write, and learn the words through Rachel. So it's a motherly figure. Does Bam love the girl? Maybe not. Maybe like a mother. Who knows? That's an interesting question. We also get to see Rachel once again at the ED. It looked like she was more adult. No one's seen Rachel. How did she go to the top of the tower and then just disappear? The ranker doesn't even know who she is, so obviously she's probably someone with special powers. She's an irregular that probably the king is aware of, if I had to guess. These are all guesses. I've never read the manga. I don't know. I've never been told about the manga. But this is all me just guessing here, guys. So things we need to look at, things we need to wonder about. I'm not sure where this is all going. I'm not sure what the heck's going to happen next. But, woo, I like it. I'm really happy with the product. I'm really glad Man Wallace is partnering with Crunchyroll. First off, finally, let me say, shout out to Crunchyroll. You've partnered with Viz Media. You've started to make English dubs. You have started to also make Man Wallace and exclusively to you because you took advantage of an opportunity. Great business decision. Great business opportunity. That I applaud. I've had people say negative stuff about Crunchyroll in the past, and I didn't think it deserved as much flack. I think they deserve some, but this They've innovated. They've stepped up. They are really trying to take a grasp on the anime community outside of Japan, and that's where the bigger market is. Anyways, the market there is bigger than the one in Japan because the population size is so massive. Combine all the other continents, countries, and their anime fan bases, and then guess what? It makes Japan's fan base look very minuscule. There's just so many people, so many other countries out there, man, that are adding up and really coming into this anime universe slowly but surely. I mean, we had Endeavor trending the other day. We had Tower of God, over 50,000 tweets, one of the top 10 trending things. Whenever it first premiered was for a few hours. That's incredible. That's amazing. It's special, especially during a time like this in the world. Anime is coming. Manhwas are here and or have arrived. And now they're just about to run the world together, is my opinion. So we'll see what happens in about 2 years from now. We'll see where we're at. I think it's going to be about 2 years. But, yeah, great things to come. I think this is just part of the new era of anime, manhwas, however you want to say it. But, hey, as always, guys, you guys have been Hexed. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me to X25. See you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys, so much.